Discover how AI can be your secret weapon for your marketing-related activities. Stay tuned as I will share a bunch of AI techniques and tools that you can use to implement them. Now, whether you're still on the fence regarding AI or you've already started using it, chances are that it's not clear how AI could help you with your marketing-related activities. I fully understand because there's so much noise and buzz around AI at the moment that it's very easy to be overwhelmed. Now, the funniest that I have seen are these kinds of headlines: 65 ChatGPT prompts for marketing, 190 ChatGPT prompts marketers should use. Now, I'm sure that the people who published these blog posts or these articles, they mean well, but the truth is, these kinds of things, they don't really help. I really like the saying, if you give a man a fish, he will eat for one day. If you teach a man to fish, he will eat for the rest of his life. And so providing a list of prompts is like giving fishes. Whereas in this episode, I want to teach you how to fish by introducing easy to implement techniques and tools that will help you harness the power of generative AI for marketing. Now, marketing is a vast subject, so I will focus on three main areas: content marketing, personal branding, and email marketing optimization. And also by generative AI, I mean large language models like ChatGPT and image generation tools like DALL-E. Okay, so let's start with exploring how AI can help us with our content marketing strategy. So the first thing that we can leverage AI for is generating content ideas, titles, themes that align with our niche and our ideal customer avatar. Now, I dove deep on this topic in episode 74, so it's worth checking it out if you've missed it. Nonetheless, there is one technique that will give you a lot of ideas in the shortest amount of time. It's the list of the 50 most likely questions that your ICA has about the topic that you can help them with. And now, I forgot to mention that in the last episode, but a big shout out to Ash Borland at ashborland.com, the host of the Mortgage Marketing Podcast, who actually gave me that idea. Now, once you have a list of topics, the next step is to actually create content, whether it's the blog post, a script for podcasts or videos, or even engaging social media posts. And so if you're a blogger, you can use a free AI tool offered by Grammarly. And I will put the link in the show notes. This will help you to create a first draft in no time. And the best is that you don't even need to have a Grammarly account. So you just start by defining your target audience. And step number 2, you will provide a short description of the article or what the article will be about, the desired length, and even specifying the tone of voice. And then in a few seconds, you will get a first draft. I don't know you, but it's easier for me to tweak existing text than come up with the first draft. And so this Grammarly tool is by far the easiest. No need to enter a prompt or series of prompts. You just enter some background information, you click, and voila. Now, if you're a podcaster or video creator like me, then you will want AI to help you with your script. To keep today's episode short and sweet, I've decided to actually dedicate the next episode, episode 76, to sharing how AI helps me streamline the entire podcast production process. So make sure to follow this show if you don't want to miss this episode. Another way AI can help us is by identifying trending keywords and also integrating them into our content, so to improve our search ranking. In this case, the knowledge cutoff date of the large language model that you use is very important. So always start by entering the following prompt. what is your knowledge cutoff date. At the time of recording, it is December 2023. The cutoff date for GPT 3.5 is January 2022, and for GPT-4, it is April 2023. So this means that GPT-4 will likely give me better SEO suggestions than GPT 3.5. Now, regardless from the LLM that you will use, the best technique that I have found is by using the expertise and specialty role play combined with the what do you need to know question. So here's an example of a prompt that you could use. You are a SEO expert specialized in identifying trending keywords to improve the search engine ranking of websites. What do you need to know to help me with that? And so the LLM, the large language model, will tell you exactly what information it needs. So either you can provide it right away, or you will need to do some more research before continuing in the same conversation. The key message, once again, is that AI is neither a search engine nor an encyclopedia. However, it can be a very helpful assistant and guide once you know how to interact with it. The last thing that I like to mention when it comes to content marketing is that AI models can also help us generate visuals for blog posts, for social media, and even video thumbnails. Here, the tools that we have at our disposal fall into two broad categories. On one hand, there are tools that require to develop image generation prompting skills. And then there are other tools that can craft image generation prompts for us. Now, most image generation tools fall into the first categories, like Diffusion B, a free Mac application that I explored in episode 73. Now, if like me, you want something quick, then you will want to use tools from the second category. If you use Canva already, there is a magic media feature that allows you to describe what you want in the picture. You can choose a style, an aspect ratio, and then it will create images for you. And if you are a ChatGPT Plus subscriber, you can simply ask GPT-4 that will in turn create the best prompt possible for DALL-E 3. Last week, I gave a presentation about generative AI at the University of Luxembourg, and the vast majority of illustrations and background images that I used for that keynote presentation, they were created with ChatGPT-4 and DALL-E 3. And best of all, I didn't even need to iterate. The first option was always spot on. The only thing I had to do for one image was just to crop it because it was not entirely centered. Okay, second area of marketing where AI can help us is personal branding. Now, within this, AI can help optimize our social media bios and profiles. On the text side, you could submit to a large language model your current LinkedIn tagline and about section, and then ask it to review how they align with your brand and your expertise. So for this, you can either write it down or provide one or more links to your website. So it could be the homepage, the about page, for instance. And this you can do again with the ChatGPT Plus subscription using the plugins feature. Now, leveraging the expertise and specialization technique, here is a prompt that you could use for your LinkedIn tagline and about section. So here's the prompt. You are a personal branding expert specialized in crafting relevant LinkedIn bios and profiles to accurately reflect one's brand and expertise. And so here is my current tagline, and then you would copy paste the tagline from LinkedIn, then continuing the prompt, and my current about section, colon, and then you copy paste the about section. And so the next part of the prompt would go like this. Can you review the tagline and the about section and tell me how they align with my business? And then either you copy paste information from your website or you just provide links to it. And then you finish the prompt with this sentence. Give a score between 1 and 10, 10 being a perfect alignment. When I did that with my LinkedIn profile, ChatGPT gave me a 10 out of 10 for the tagline, so it was a good tagline already. But for the About section, the score was only a 7 out of 10. And so in its response, ChatGPT provided recommendations for improvement, which is already a good start. But so I went one step further and then I followed up with another prompt, which was, can you draft an updated version of the About section so that the alignment score would be at least a 9? At this point, ChatGPT drafted some subsections entitled About me, what I do, my approach, why work with me, and also your journey to Mac mastery. Overall, it was a great first draft, and now I can easily tweak it and adapt it to my own voice and my own style. Another aspect where AI can help is for public relations content. So it could be press releases, pitches for speaking opportunities, and also responses to media inquiries. Now, taking the speaking gig example, a good first prompt would be, you act now as a public relations expert specialized in pitching persuasive speaking opportunities. What do you need to know to help me with that? And so the LLM will then tell you what information you will need to provide. And when it comes to personalized visual branding, image generation tools, they can help us create logos, business card design, and also branded graphics. Now, there's a big caveat here. According to the US Copyright Office, or the USCO, AI-generated images are not eligible for copyright protection because they are not the product of human authorship. Therefore, if you want to be able to trademark images, you will still need to hire a graphic designer. And in this day and age, finding one that you can trust is really key. Now, for the Macpreneur logo and the branding palette, I hired Roland Huse, and I recommend him wholeheartedly. It's always a pleasure to work with him. And if you like the new Macpreneur logo, you just let him know on social media. He's Roland Huse Design in one word on Instagram. Okay, so last use case, AI for email marketing optimization. Now, having people on our email list is only half the battle, right? The other half is maximizing the chances of them reading our emails and then acting on them. So clicking on the call to actions, for instance. And so for that, an enticing subject line is really key. Now, I'm going to ask you a question and I will not speak for a few seconds to give you a little bit of space to think. If you need more time, just press pause and then play again in a few minutes if you need that. So here's the question. Based on what you've learned so far, what first prompt would you enter in a large language model to help you craft an enticing subject line for an email? Okay, so let me guess. You took the expert specialty approach, right? So something along the lines of, you act now as an email marketing expert specialized in crafting enticing subject lines. That could be a good option. Now, there are two options when it comes to the next part of the prompt. The first option, you could ask it what it needs to know to help you. It's always a safe option when you're just starting out or if the email hasn't been written yet. Now, assuming that you have already written the email body, there is a second option that would consist in asking the large language model to suggest 5 or 10 subject line candidates based on the existing content, so the email body itself. In episode 74, I mentioned a trick of defining what good means in the context of YouTube video titles. And we can apply the same trick now for subject lines. So the second part of the prompt could be something like, Enticing subject lines generate the following emotions: curiosity, desire, and fear. The best subject lines usually combine either curiosity and desire or curiosity and fear. Suggest 10 highly enticing subject lines based on the email body that you will find below. Split the proposed subject lines into 2 sections, each containing 5 candidates. And then number 1 generates curiosity and desire. Number 2 generates curiosity and fear. And we finish the prompt by writing, here is the email body, and we copy paste the body of the email. If none of the proposed candidates seem okay to you, you can follow up by asking it to tweak the tone of voice or the maximum number of words. So an example of prompt would be, can you shorten them to 7 words maximum and use a witty tone of voice? So that could be an option. And so last use case when it comes to email marketing would be to offer A/B testing suggestions. So let's say that your subscribers, they open and read your emails, but you are not very satisfied with the number of people who take action. So you could ask the large language model to suggest variations for the call to action phrase. And then, provided that your email list is big enough, you could split it into 2 groups, then create 2 emails, one for each group, having a different call to action. A/B testing can also be applied to subject lines and even visuals if you feel that it could influence the conversion rate. So to recap, I have explored how AI can help us solopreneurs streamline marketing-related activities. I have covered 3 main topics: content marketing, personal branding, and email marketing optimization. For each of them, you've discovered practical strategies to leverage the power of AI, especially large language models and image generation tools. Now, if you've never used AI before, I hope this episode has motivated you to start experimenting with it. And if you've already started, I'm curious to know what specific use cases have helped you so far. You can DM me on Instagram. My handle is MacpreneurFM. In the next episode, I will share with you how AI helps me prepare and produce the Macpreneur podcast. That's it for today. If you haven't done it yet, visit macpreneur.com/AI to grab your own copy of the top 10 AI tools cheat sheet. This PDF will give you the edge that you need to boost your solo business in this fast-pacing world. Once again, it's macpreneur.com/AI. And until next time, I'm Damien Schroers, wishing you a great day.
Thank you for watching the Macpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and share it with a friend right now.